Corpse body missing footage is, I actually don't know. This is the first I've heard of it, so let's experience it together. Whoever is behind that screen, skip the first 30 seconds because it's just some stuff I don't know and I probably might go to jail if I ever lived in Japan. Rain and very dark shit. God damn it, I can't see shit. Looks like I have to edit in the brightness again. Oh my god. You think they would learn from the fucking movie, which I barely saw anything because it was so literally fucking dark. We see that the lightning has provided us light and the sign that shows tangent. I honestly prefer saying tangent elementary than that long ass heavenly host elementary school. You think it's too much? We see a hallway which goes straight to nothing, then cut to the hallway again, then cut to tangent elementary, even though we know we're in tangent, but this OVA has to really make sure that the viewers know that we're in tangent just in case we're that fucking stupid. Thanks, yeah. Fucking anime. Hallway, then cut to a bucket of blood with organs, I think, while we hear sounds of crying children. I'm not sure what the bucket really has inside since it cut immediately to the hallway again. Cut to a chalkboard with a child's drawing of Scissor Man and 4 other children bleeding. I didn't realize Clock Tower had a crossover with Corpse Party. When was this? Why was I not informed? Hallway again, then we see some guys standing and we now can audibly hear the scared moans from children. We see them all tied up and they struggle, but their struggling is no use. One cool detail, we see one of their blindfolds a bit wet, which shows that they've been crying a lot. Really cool, I love it, but did it really need to remind me of pupa though? We finally see the whole gang all tied up. Someone screams and says, "Don't, please don't," blood splashing. Wow, it's like a blood sprinkler or something. Wait, is this censored? Oh god, boo, this sucks. Why censor it? The only good thing Corpse Party has going for is how people die, and that's still debatable. Everything else is fucking asinine. We hear screams, stabs, scissors, blood pouring. It's all sound effects like the fucking game. Instead of actually showing the players what's happening to the people, just a big black screen with some dumb narration that overstays its welcome. I never thought I would see such a garbage way of presenting these things, but Corpse Party did it. Hooray for Corpse Party. You managed to be utterly stupid. We barely see something. Man, I couldn't find any high quality video of this, so I think that's Headless's head. Then we hear someone scream, "No, stop, please, I don't want to die." Unfortunately, the opposite of what she said happened to her. The torture goes on until she dies. We see a fast cut of someone stabbing someone's eye with scissors. Awesome. Why? Don't know. The light flickers. Who pays the electricity bills here? If they encounter an electricity problem, do they call an electrician and have him fix this? It's funny to think that Sachiko and Zombie Guy invite an electrician and Sachiko's like, don't mind the mess and just fix our light. And the electrician, being oblivious or simply not caring, just does his job, gets paid and gets laid. It's also weird to me since they cut their tongues off, right? So why are their screams audible like their tongues are still in place? Even the sound effects are inconsistent. The visuals, writing, and dialogue are inconsistent. Now the sound effects too? Are you aiming to be the worst of the worst? Then we see some bloody scissors, then cut to a Killjoy sensor shadow. This anime sucks. Cut to another Killjoy sensor shadow and another, then cut to the chalkboard again. Why? We've already seen this. Then we see a red dress in the corner, then she smiles. That's certainly a great way in expanding the lore of Corpse Party. It really added a lot by showing us things we've already seen and just animating it. Then we cut to Satoshi screaming and then, "Oh god, I am going to jail. I know it's censored, but I don't think it's censored enough." Yuka says, "Oni-chan." Take a punch in the face every time she says Oni-chan. We're fucking close to her thigh. Are you fucking kidding, you piece of shit anime? Of all the angles you could have chosen, you deliberately chose this fucking angle. Satoshi says, "You scared the hell out of me." She says, "You really are a scaredy cat, aren't you?" Well, at least this anime also shows from the very beginning that Satoshi was always a scaredy cat even before they got transported to Tenjin. So why, game, is Satoshi casually talking with a fucking ghost in chapter 3? Why is his character inconsistent from what was previously established? He says, "I'm not, I was just surprised because you suddenly opened the door. And you're fucking naked and blood related. Why the fuck are you blushing?" She says, "Come on, hurry up and get out of the bath. I'll wash your body." Are door locks and personal space not a thing in this universe? He says, "I already finished washing myself, so you don't have to." Then she slumps to the floor. Really? That's enough to deter her spirits? What a weakling. Make sure she doesn't discover the internet. She ain't gonna last for sure. She says, "So you're done already." Oni-chan. Ow. Sorry, I punched my face. Aren't you tired from all those preparations for this cultural festival? I thought I could relieve some of the fatigue for you. How about leaving him alone to relax? He smiles, pats her head, and says, "You're so kind, Yuka." That makes her happy, and she forces him to wash his body. Ugh. "Come over here, quickly." Phrasing! He declines and she says, "If you're like that, I'll just join you instead." She goes in the tub in her birthday suit and Satoshi does nothing about it but stare at her ass. Fucking really? Then we hear Seiko's voice say, tell me, is there something between between you and Satoshi? Yeah, I've been wondering about this since the very beginning. Why does Naomi like Satoshi? I don't know. We're just expected to go along with it. Terrible character writing. Maybe it's in the extra chapters? I don't know. Naomi says, what do you mean? What else could it mean? Seiko says, Naomi and Satoshi. Then we see where the budget went. We see a fluid animation of Seiko groping Naomi's tits. I ain't gonna put that part of the video in. Search for it yourselves. It's here on YouTube, by the way. Thanks a lot, Naruko. While making this video, I found that there's another video titled All Deaths in Corpse Party Missing Footage 2012. It has the uncensored stuff. Really cool. It has the stuff like the guts, the tongue cut out, headless's head is here, and one eye's one eye. Anywho, Seiko continues her sexual harassment and says, doing stuff like this, and also this, and of course something like this. Seiko puckers up to kiss Naomi, foreshadowing the other thing that happened in the game, which is great. I think. She blocks Seiko with a pillow and says, as if we do that. I still don't know why Naomi likes Satoshi. What did he do or has done for you or something? Did something happen to the past or something? I don't know. Seiko cutely falls to the bed, curls up and says, how boring. Honestly, her being animated like this with an over-the-top personality is really charming, unlike the game where we don't see her charms because the game focuses on Naomi and her problems. Why the fuck did we start the game with Naomi? She sucks. Naomi says, well, sorry for being so boring. Wow, it's like the anime knows I just talk shit about Naomi. Seiko says, same goes for Satoshi. Even though you're so attractive, I like that Seiko's dialogue shows how she really likes Naomi, and it's so obvious that she has a thing for her. She says, if I were him, I wouldn't be able to resist myself. See? Blatant and obvious, which the payoff then makes sense in the game, even though again, we barely know anyone in this franchise. Another harassment ensues. She rubs her face on the thing between Naomi's thighs. Don't get a boner, you assholes. Naomi says, hey, stop that, Seiko. After a few seconds, she finally does something, a comedic sound effect, and we see Seiko rubbing her head. Naomi says, why are you sleeping in my bed in the first place? I already prepared a futon for you. Someone touches her ass. It surprises Naomi. She turns around and sees that Seiko was already on the futon. Huh? What? How did that even happen? Teleportation? That doesn't make sense. Naomi asks if Seiko touched her butt. Seiko says, are you sexually frustrated by any chance? Ah, yes, the mythical girl talk. Why don't you ask Satoshi for a favor at tomorrow's culture festival? Naomi blushes, still don't know why she likes him. In the first place, were they childhood friends or something? Naomi turns the light off and now we see a phone. It's Glasses Guy. I love how there's no sound effect except for the sound of the buttons on his phone. There's literally nothing going on in his life, isolated from everyone, everywhere except for... We see a picture of Mayu. That is the only picture he didn't skim over. We see him intensely looking at it, then his phone rings. He answers it and hears, hello, is this Glasses Guy? This is the class president speaking. Glasses Guy sighs like he knows she's just joking. Cool detail, and he says, hey there, Mayu. We see Mayu giggle and say, you got me. Double meaning. She's really into him or just simply answering Glasses Guy calling her out on her joke. Open for interpretation, really cool, I love it. He asks, so what's up? She says, I thought I'd wish you good luck with tomorrow's culture festival. That's all I wanted to say. You couldn't send a text message? Women, am right? He says, tomorrow's the last day, right? The last day you'll come to school. We visibly see her upset. Even the lighting on her eyes vibrates like she's trying to not tear up. Great detail. I really try hard to pay attention to the things that I make videos on so that I can see both the good and the bad. Corpse Party is mostly bad, so seeing something good is really surprising to me. He says, oh well, nothing's going to change apart from your transfer. We'll just be commuting to different schools. We can still call each other like now. She sadly says, yeah. He says, what, you want to change it? This beams up Mayu and she literally shrugs off the choice to change it. Great visuals, simple but great. He says, what is it? He says, I want nothing to change even though her action says otherwise. Whoever directed the visuals, can they fix every visual in the game too? Every game in the franchise while you're at it? He says, good. Honesty is a virtue, he says sarcastically. Then she laughs. He says, that's why there's nothing to be afraid of, Mayu. If anything happens, contact me right away. She says, I will. Then he says, got that? I'm hanging up. I'm rather busy, unlike you. Which he isn't really. He just says this because he either think it's cool, he's embarrassed, or he's actually going to do something. She says, I got it. See you tomorrow, Glasses Guy. Good night. Why is he messing around with his computer when it's not even on? She hangs up, he smiles, she blushes, thanks Glasses Guy, great scene. Next scene. We see Yoshiki see Ayumi, that makes him smile, immediately telling the audience he's into her. Ayumi's coin falls and Yoshiki picks it up for her. I might be overanalyzing this, but this could be some foreshadowing on how Yoshiki always helps out Ayumi every time. Yeah, maybe I'm seeing things that are actually not there. He says, oh, if it isn't Ayumi, like it was a coincidence that they met up or something. What are you doing out so late? He says, well, our printer has broken down. So then she looks around restlessly. He sees this and asks, who are you looking for? This surprises Ayumi and he continues, just so you know, good song by Jesse McCartney, I love it. I didn't bring Satoshi with me. This disappoints Ayumi. damn bro, the signals Ayumi make are so obvious. I'd walk out devastated if that ever happened to me. Oh wait, it did happen to me. I don't want to talk about it. She says, is that so? Too bad. What an insensitive bitch. Disclaimer, I love her voice actress. Incredibly talented. I love her screams and whininess she brings to Ayumi. I can't imagine anyone else voicing Ayumi but Asami Imai. Her music's good too. This obviously pisses off Yoshiki, but then disappointment. Very cool. He could have been angry at Satoshi, but because he became disappointed, it shows that he really likes Satoshi too, and sees no reason to get angry at him. Unfortunately, he can't get Ayumi's attention. She's a karaoke bar and invites Ayumi. She immediately says nope, puts her hand out, and wants her coin back. Unbelievable. This bitch. This magnificent bitch. He smiles defeatedly and hands him her coin. He says, well, I guess you're having a hard time studying. She says she's not studying. You know, we're going to see Mayu off after the end of the culture festival. That's why we thought we should make a precious memory before she goes. This shows her caring personality, but really contradicts it by how she treats Yoshiki in the previous seconds. If this anime showed first that Yoshiki is a delinquent and that Ayumi isn't good with men in the first place except for Satoshi, then this would actually make sense in context. Ayumi already hates dudes, right? So her simply talking to a delinquent is already pushing it, but at least she still talks to him and shows she's not at all interested, while Yoshiki, being a delinquent and instead of lashing out, tries his best to get along with Ayumi and tries what he thinks normal people do, like invite someone out to karaoke. This would have been great, but it's not. So this scene just makes Ayumi look like a bitch. But she's my magnificent bitch. Yoshiki with this look realized that Ayumi, even though it's already laid out, is doing all this for Mayu instead of thinking about Satoshi, you know? Very caring. Then we see a paper which has a drawing of a doll again. Why does a drawing have a skirt again? The game didn't have that at all, god damn it. He says, what's that? She says, we'll make good luck charms out of these dolls so that we'll stay friends forever. Then he says, hey Yoshiki. Then cut to the culture festival. We see Miss Yui, then Satoshi and Yuka getting along a lot. Yuka's friend, who is this? Is she in the game? We see Naomi and Seiko Mayu holding on to Glasses Guy because she knows this is the last, so seeing her holding on to Glasses Guy like that really shows that she really doesn't want to transfer even though she says otherwise. Ayumi and who's that? More characters? Why can't the anime focus on the main characters first before you introduce another nobody? Fucking franchise this fucking game. Camera pans left, we see Yoshiki. Cool, he really is out of her reach. Great visual, kinda creepy stalker vibe though. Miss Yui waves at her students, camera zooms out. Ayumi continues her narration. Do you know of the fortunate Sachiko-chan? Fortunate Sachiko? I think the better wording for this is the lucky Sachiko. Fortunate just sounds formal and weird. Then red dresses face, then we see her again, then the school. I like this visual. To the left, Yoshiki looking fondly to the right. Mayu happy while Glasses Guy turns his back because cool. Yuka and Satoshi all happy. Seiko hugging Naomi because we all know she has a thing for Naomi. And Ayumi talking with Miss Yui, so it turns out Yoshiki is staring longingly at Ayumi while Ayumi doesn't see Yoshiki at all. Tragic, but a really good visual. Then a lot of cuts, we see red dress again. It's honestly stupid. We hear someone panning, she smiles and all red and the episode ends. Really good OVA, there were still a few problems but it's okay. You know, it would have been better if this OVA was at the start of the PSP game when you boot it up the first time. The video will play and have the players watch this intro video. Very cool OVA, but I still hate Corpse Party.